Auburn sports keep winning, some big names finding themselves in hot water, and professional sports putting on spectacular performances. I'm Mary Greenlee, and this is Tiger Tally. The Auburn family is in mourning after former football player Quentin Groves passed away Saturday of a heart attack. Groves played for Auburn from 2004 to 2007 and spent 7 years in the NFL. He was drafted in the second round by the Jacksonville Jaguars. At Auburn, Groves was two-time All-SEC defensive end and is tied as Auburn's career sacks leader with 26. Groves was 32 years old. The NFL says plans to reopen its investigation in Giants kicker Josh Brown's domestic abuse case. Yesterday, new information was released regarding the case. According to police documents, Brown admitted to abusing his wife. The Giants said they had not heard of the reports from the documents before their release on Wednesday. Louisville basketball coach Rick Pitino has been charged with failing to monitor a staff member within the program. The university was not charged with any serious violations. However, Pitino could face harsh consequences. In the NCAA's notice of allegations, 2 charges were directed at former Director of Basketball Operations Andre McGee. Former escort Katrina Powell says McGee paid her and other escorts thousands of dollars and gave them tickets to games in exchange for sex with the recruits and players. The NCAA alleges that Pitino did not monitor McGee and failed to check his program. In response to the allegations, Pitino says, quote, "I am not guilty of failing to monitor my staff. I am guilty of trusting someone," end quote. On Wednesday, New York Knicks guard Derrick Rose was found not liable on all accounts of sexual assault civil trial. The 2 other men being sued were also cleared of the charges. Coming up next, the latest Auburn sports. You're watching Tiger Tally on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
This is Auburn Feud with your host, J.J. Jackson.
It is! That's the number 4 answer. 19 points awarded to Theta. That 6th answer, they clogged the toilet.
Auburn Guides is your guide to Auburn University. You can access schedules, create your own to-do lists, interact with friends, and always get the most up-to-date information. The Auburn Guides app gives access to information on the go so you never miss out. Auburn Guides is available for free on the Play Store and Apple App Store.
Welcome back. My name is Donald Ekpoa. Jumping up 2 spots in the AP poll, the 21st ranked Tigers take on the 17th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks this Saturday for another primetime matchup in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Fans are pretty excited about making it into the top 25.
There is no doubt that Auburn University has campus buzzing as we head into the Arkansas game this weekend, ranked by the NCAA as number 21. How do you feel about going into the game this weekend as a ranked team?
I'm hyped. I'm real excited.
I'm really so excited going into this weekend. Being ranked, it's so exciting for everyone.
I think we have a really good chance playing against Arkansas.
I feel pretty good. I think we have a pretty good shot at beating Arkansas at home.
Are you really excited that we're ranked? How do you think that changes the atmosphere?
Oh, I think it, puts better morale, within the student section, really within the whole stadium.
I love seeing all the Auburn fans really happy, chanting War Eagle up and down the streets, saying War Eagle to my friends in class.
But I think we're going to come out pretty successful. We've crushed some teams these past couple weeks, so it's been successful.
I think the rest of the season is going to be really great. We've got Arkansas, we've got Vandy, we've got Alabama at the very end of the year, and so I think if our team can just pull through and the students can show up, the fans can show up, I think that'll be. I think we'll come out on top.
I'm very excited that Auburn football is ranked because now I can go back home to all my northern friends and be like, "What's up? We're ranked." I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
War Eagle.
Reporting for Eagle Eye News, this has been Ellie McCoy.
Kerryon Johnson returned to practice fully on Tuesday. Malzahn has not completely given him the all-clear to start on Saturday. However, he's optimistic about his return. Only 3 games left in Auburn soccer until the SEC tournament begins, and Tigers are looking to finish strong. 6 straight wins, number 11 in the coaches poll, and 2nd in the SEC. The Tigers have a 2-game stretch on the road this week when they play LSU on Thursday and Texas A&M on Sunday. Another big highlight for the soccer team, Casey Ramsier was named SEC Offensive Player of the Week after taking 4 shots and scoring 1 goal in the Tigers' victory against Arkansas over the weekend. The streak continues. Auburn volleyball has now won 4 straight games and look to extend it on Sunday when they face Arkansas at 1. 3-1 so far through the first 4 events. The defending national champions equestrian teams host Alabama Friday at 3 in an exhibition event. After making it all the way to the World Series last season, softball is hoping for another opportunity this upcoming season. The team won its first 4 exhibition games over the weekend and will have 2 more this Friday when they host Wallace State Community College in the doubleheader starting at 4:30. Let the countdown to basketball season begin. The SEC held its media days for basketball on Wednesday. Bruce Pearl, TJ Lang, and TJ Dunnins were in Nashville representing Auburn. Auburn is 11th in the SEC preseason poll, with the Tigers finishing 13th in rebounding last year, 11th in scoring, and having several new faces coming. Pearl said he wasn't surprised with the rankings, but is hopeful to prove everyone wrong. Opening tip-off for the regular season for both men's and women's basketball is November 11th. The number 1 draft pick in 1999 makes a major announcement. World Series just right around the corner, and a career milestone for one NHL player. We have all of that and more coming up.
Each year, Auburn University's Beat Bama Food Drive partners with the Food Bank of East Alabama to provide relief for food insecurity. Last year, we were able to raise 200,000 pounds of food, and now we need your help. We will be collecting cans from October 5th through November 20th. Get ready to help us fight food insecurity and beat Bama.
Let's move on to the professional world. I'm Mary Grace Long. 5 days remaining until NBA opening day. The new season will tip off with the New York Knicks visiting the defending champions Cleveland Cavaliers, a matchup between the Jazz and Trailblazers, and the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Warriors' Big Four in Oakland. Today, it was also announced that 76ers Elton Brand will retire from the NBA after 17 years. He was drafted number 1 overall in 1999 by the Bulls. An update on what's happening in the NFL. Bengals' Vontaze Burfict was fined $75,000 after stomping on Patriots running back LeGarrette Blount's leg on Sunday. Burfict was not suspended. In the same game, Tom Brady had his homecoming, playing at Gillette Stadium for the first time this season. He and the Patriots picked up their 6th victory of the season. And an update on injuries. Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger had surgery on his left knee after tearing a meniscus. He is expected to miss at least 4 to 6 weeks. Packers running back Eddie Lacy underwent ankle surgery and could possibly miss the rest of the NFL season. Want to go to the World Series? Well, you can go ahead and book a ticket to Cleveland. On Wednesday, the Indians defeated the Blue Jays 3-0, winning the series 4-1 and advancing to the World Series for the first time since 1997. They will either face the Dodgers or the Cubs. That series is currently tied 2-2. And here's a fun fact. Game 1 of the World Series in Cleveland will also be the same night as the Cavs' opening night and ring ceremony. It'll be one epic night on Tuesday. Chicago Blackhawks forward Marian Hossa is now a part of the 500-goal club. His 500th goal of his career came against the Philadelphia Flyers Tuesday night. Coming up next, we'll see what happened in our Fantasy Football League this week. We'll be right back.
How to fill out an Alabama voter registration form with Aubie. First, check the 2 boxes if you are at least 18 years and a U.S. citizen. Write out your full name, make sure it matches the name on your government-issued photo ID. Write out your former name if you are updating your information. Write out your Alabama driver's license number or U.S. Social Security number in the boxes to the right. List your date of birth, phone number, and email address. Write out your addresses, including where you live and where you get your mail, but don't list P.O. boxes. Check the box next to your gender and race. List your place of birth, including city, county, state, and nation. Be sure to sign and date the Alabama Voter Declaration. Turn over the card and write the address of your county's Board of Registrars. Mail in the application and you should receive a voter card with your polling information. You can also go to www.alabamavotes.gov and find your polling location. For more information about SGA's voter registration initiative, go to auburn.edu/SGA, where you can find information about registering in other states, information about absentee ballots, and links to the candidates' platforms.
The last undefeated team is beaten, and one last Shiva Blast had a huge turnaround. I'm Meredith Brito, and this is the Fantasy Football Blitz on Tiger Tally. Here with me today is Sarah, Brooks, and Olivia. Sarah, Olivia, Brooks, how are y'all feeling after another week of fantasy?
Well, I'm feeling just great. 2 weeks in a row I've been on the losing end of the game. I'm finally glad to get back in the win column this week.
Yeah, my team, we went from doing really well the last 2 weeks until this week when my entire team decided to be on IR and be out for the game. So it was not a good week.
I'm going to have to agree with that. My team right now is 1-5. So we have won one game, but my majority players, most of them are on injury reserve as well. So we're going to see how it goes going forward.
This past week, a few upsets occurred, such as Erica's team handing Micah's first loss of the season, Sarah's team going from scoring the most last week to second to last. The Week 6 winners this week were Joey, Erica, JJ, Brooks, and Casey, who led the league this week in scoring. This week will be our 7th week of fantasy football. Matchups this week will include the Olivias versus Edelme Longtime, Teenage Mutant Ninja Bortles versus Teamy McTeamface, Honey Funches of Oats versus Bill's Mafia, It's On Like Gronky Kong versus the Best Team, and one last Shiva Blast versus my team, the Deckers. Who are going to be your key players moving to Week 7?
Well, I think my key players right now looks like it's going to be Derek Carr going down the stretch, trying to get the Raiders into the playoff run, and then my team name, Rob Gronkowski. Since Brady's back, he's been getting more and more points each week. I think he's going to keep getting more and more points and be one of the key factors for my team.
One of the main players on my team that has to step it up and get back in his groove is Aaron Rodgers, and he needs to be my biggest key player. He's been not his best recently, and he needs to step it up as well as the Bills' defense. They've been playing amazing, and if they can keep it up and possibly get the Bills into the top wild card spot, because who's going to beat the Patriots, then my team might actually have a chance at coming back after last week.
My key player is definitely going to be Matt Stafford this week. My main quarterback was Ben Roethlisberger, but as everyone knows, he's on injury reserve now, unfortunately. Matt has been doing pretty well. He's had at least 3 touchdowns from the majority of his games, so I'm hoping that he'll continue at that streak, but we'll see how that goes moving forward.
Any other general comments about your team you'd like to share?
Well, I'm just glad I got back in the win column this week. I lost a close one last week to Micah, and it really hurt me because I was watching the game, and all he needed was like one catch for like 14 yards, and they got it the first time they tried, and it just hurt me.
Oh, yeah, my team, they need to step it up. They need to stop getting injured, like Jordan Reed and Sammy Watkins, who's on IR, and Sammy Coates, and pretty much everybody else. So hopefully my backups that I picked up can actually play unlike the backups did last week.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that. My other main player that I was looking forward to is Adrian Peterson, and he's on injury reserve as well. So I was really looking forward to him kind of carrying my team, but he hasn't been able to do that. Clearly, I've won one game, beating Jared once, which was pretty impressive, but we'll see how it goes.
Tonight we have an NFC North divisional matchup. The Chicago Bears are traveling to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. Who will take the W?
Well, both teams have been lackluster this year, to say the least. Green Bay, it looks like the better team on paper. A lot of struggles with the Bears team, especially at the quarterback position. I think it's going to be a close game. It's not going to be a pretty one to watch, but I think, in my opinion, it's going to be the Packers by like maybe 7.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers. I think both teams are in a really hard spot, but I think the Packers defense has the edge over the Bears. And if Aaron Rodgers can play like Aaron Rodgers can, they're going to beat the Bears because the Bears simply just don't have a quarterback situation that they can play in right now.
I'm definitely going to agree with you on that. I think Aaron Rodgers does need to step up, but I do have Green Bay as my defense in fantasy. So I'm actually hoping that they'll win, carrying that over into this. They're coming off of a tough loss last week, but I do think that Green Bay can pull it out this week.
Let's move on to college football. Last week set the tone for the rest of the season as some teams had key conference games, including Ohio State traveling to Wisconsin and beating the Badgers, North Carolina winning in Miami, and many others. This week, Miami will be looking to rebound after their loss last week as they travel to Virginia Tech. The spread favors Virginia Tech by 6 points. Who do y'all have in this game?
Well, this is going to be a tough game because both teams are coming off losses. Miami coming off 2 straight losses, and Mark Richt, I don't think he's going to let his team lose 2 in a row, or 3 in a row, really. So I'm going to take Miami, but it's going to be a hard-fought game as it's on the road in a hostile environment in Blacksburg.
I'm actually going to have to go the opposite way. I'm going to have to go with Virginia Tech. Playing in Virginia Tech is one of the hardest places to play. And Miami's coming off of 2 losses to North Carolina and Florida State, where Virginia Tech is coming off of a loss to Syracuse. So Virginia Tech has a lot more to claim back on their talk to possibly get a bowl game than Miami does.
I'm actually going to have to agree with Brooks on this one. I think Miami is going to win here. I do think they have a stronger quarterback. Kaya has proven that he has what it takes to win games, even though they haven't won the past 2 games. I definitely think that they're going to want to win after these past 2 losses. So I agree, even though it's on the road, they're going to come out with the win this week.
Next, we have the TCU Horned Frogs, who will be traveling to the number 12 West Virginia Mountaineers. TCU has struggled so far this season against 2 ranked opponents in Oklahoma and Arkansas. The spread favors West Virginia by 6.5. Who do you think is going to take the W?
Well, I think the spread's got a little low because I really like this West Virginia team. They're sneaky good this year. I think they could be a contender for the playoffs coming the end of the year. I'm going to go with West Virginia up in the mountains by 14.
Yeah, I'm going with West Virginia. They are the surprise team of the season. I mean, I have friends from home calling me saying, hey, why aren't SEC teams ranked? Wait, West Virginia is. So playing in West Virginia is hard. TCU struggled. I'm just going to, it's just West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with both of you. I definitely think West Virginia is going to come out with the win this week. Their defense has actually improved a lot this year, which I think that's why they've won a bunch of games, and I think they're going to keep going off that momentum and keep on winning and keep their undefeated.
Next, the number 16 Oklahoma Sooners will be traveling to Lubbock, Texas to face the Texas Tech Red Raiders. The spread favors Oklahoma by 14 points. Do you see a potential upset here?
I think there's the potential for an upset because you don't just walk into Lubbock, Texas and expect an easy win no matter what your rank. There's been so many teams that have gone in to play Texas Tech and they've come out upset. This Texas Tech team, I don't know if they have the capability to do that, but it's going to be a close game. I think Oklahoma wins it by maybe a field goal.
I'm going to have to go with Oklahoma. Oklahoma's been up and down all season, but I think Oklahoma can pull it out. I mean, they pulled out the Red River rivalry in Dallas. So I think Oklahoma's going to win this one.
I'm going to have to agree with both of you again. Oklahoma definitely, I agree with them being favored this week. I think they've shown that they have the ability to win, and Texas Tech just isn't looking as strong this year. So I definitely think Oklahoma is going to come out on top.
After coming off a close loss in Arkansas, the Ole Miss Rebels travel to Baton Rouge to face the number 25 LSU Tigers, who are 2-0 after firing Les Miles. The spread favors LSU by 6.5 points. Who do you have in this key SEC West matchup?
Well, this is one of the more interesting games of the weekend because both of these teams are not playing to the standards that was set preseason. I just don't think – I think Ole Miss has lost their groove. They lost their offensive groove. Their defense is playing adequately, but that's not enough to keep them in these ball games. I think it's going to be a close game for most of the time, and then probably around the midway point in the fourth quarter, LSU is going to pull away and win by 10.
I mean, this is a really close game. Ole Miss tore apart LSU's defense last year, so Chad Kelly has an edge on them, but LSU has their number. It's going to be a really close game, but I'm going to have to go with LSU.
I'm actually going to say Ole Miss for this week. I do agree that they both haven't beat as many teams as they were hoping, but I do think that Ole Miss has beat better teams. Auburn has beaten LSU so far this season, so I definitely think that being said, Ole Miss can come out on top this week.
Next, we have possibly the biggest test in the SEC West, as number 6 Texas A&M travels to Tuscaloosa to face number 1 Alabama. The spread is in favor of Alabama by 18.5 points. Do you think the spread is too large here?
I don't think so. I think Alabama has proven that they deserve to be, given this kind of credit that they're going to say, oh, you get an 18.5-point spread. But it's been proven in the past Nick Saban's weakness is the fast-paced offensive teams like they have with a mobile quarterback like Trevor Knight is. But I don't think that's going to be enough this year. I think A&M's going to walk in and Alabama's going to win this one convincingly by 14.
I'm going to have to disagree, go out on a limb, because Texas A&M, Trevor McKnight's the last quarterback to have beaten Nick Saban. So, well, maybe not the last, but they lost in the Cotton Bowl to Trevor McKnight last. So if a quarterback can do it, he's the one who can. And with Alabama's defense, they're going to have to count on turnovers, and he just hasn't been turning over the ball that much. So give me A&M.
I actually think that Bama's going to win this one. I don't know if that margin is too big or too little, but I definitely think that they're going to win. They're undefeated, and I don't think they're going to give up their first game, especially at home. Nick Saban has shown that his team, both offense and defense, are doing extremely well this year. So I definitely think Bama will win by at least 14. I agree with you, Brooks.
Last but not least, we have another big test in the SEC West as the number 17 Arkansas Razorbacks travel to face the number 21 Auburn Tigers. The spread favors Auburn by 9.5 points. How do you all see this game going?
Well, I'm going to have to say I'm going with Auburn. Auburn's offense has finally been clicking. Shaun White's been playing really well, and Arkansas just doesn't have that much yet to really be considered a top, tough SEC team. So give me the Tigers in this one.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that. Auburn has really surprised everybody this year, I think. Their defense has come out really strong, getting some really good sacks, beating a lot of teams that they weren't expecting to beat at all. And I definitely agree. Shaun White has come out this year. He's really connected with Kerryon Johnson, Tony Stevens. He's definitely shown that he is the starting quarterback. So I agree with you. Auburn is definitely going to come out and beat Arkansas this week.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Tiger Tally. For more on the latest Auburn sports, tune into AU Nation and Monday Night News right here on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6. See y'all next time. War Eagle.